Hi everyone and welcome. Today we're going to be talking a bit about the PS5. So I finally got mine. It's now released here in the UK and I haven't stopped playing it since I got it basically. And it's difficult to describe how sort of the big thing is the new controller. And it's difficult to really convey the feeling of it without actually sort of playing the game and having it in your hands yourself. I've been playing quite a lot of Astro's Playroom, which is absolutely fantastic. It really demonstrates, as its sole purpose is, the new console and the new controller. The haptic feedback is brilliant. The way it feels different over different surfaces, different actions, and all the new sort of interactions you can do with it, with the adaptive triggers. The adaptive triggers take a bit of getting used to, because it's a very alien feeling, sort of having a trigger respond to you in different ways. Like there's a jetpack section where you've got the rumble of the jets using the haptic feedback, and the triggers vary their resistance depending on how much thrust you're putting into it. It's a very, very unique experience. Well, I have to say, so far I've been thoroughly enjoying the PlayStation 5 and all its new features. Once I load up a game, you very rarely, well, you don't see what you would traditionally call a load screen. You see sort of things fade in and fade out, and that's as far as it goes. So far I've played, like I say, Astro's Playroom. I've played some Spider-Man Miles Morales, which will be going up on the channel later on. So this is just a little video just to talk about the PlayStation 5 and basically just the way that next gen feels. And so far, I think it's absolutely fantastic. In this section, again, this is using the adaptive triggers. You can feel the resistance as you charge up your little frog and bounce around the level. And with every bounce there's a different amount of haptic feedback, and like I say, it just looks phenomenal. Everything running in 60 FPS, and it just is a thoroughly enjoyable experience in next gen. There's still some other games that I haven't played that I want to play and see how they perform. I went back and I've been playing a bit of Crash Bandicoot 4, which I've been doing for the channel, and I've moved that over to PS5 now, so the future videos I'm recording for that will be done on PS5, which has reduced the load times on that significantly, which is fantastic. Now I did come in, the only sort of issue as it were I've had with the console since I've got it is with Crash. And because I transferred it from my PS4 to my PS5, when I first went to play it, it told me it was corrupted and I would have to delete it and re-download it. But the second I tried to play it, it also tried to, or it started I should say, a update. And once that update was downloaded, I tried Crash again, and it ran absolutely fine. So it wasn't an issue with the actual download itself, it was the fact that it just needed a patch for next gen. So once it had that patch, it's been working absolutely fine. And like I say, the game runs brilliantly, it still looks as good as it did. I mean, it was a pretty good looking game to begin with, to be fair. So it looks great on PS5, and like I say, the load times were significantly reduced, so that makes my life a lot easier. Doesn't make a difference for you guys in the videos because I cut out all the load screens anyway, but for me, not having to sit there and edit out tons of load screens is a much nicer experience for me. And it also gives me a better clarity of exactly how long the video is going to be. Because an issue I've had in the past with some of the videos I've edited, which is why some of them are sort of random and different lengths, is because I have to sort of calculate on the fly how long the load screens are and calculate that into the total recording time and to figure out exactly how long each episode is going to be. But I've recorded a couple of episodes of Miles Morales which I need to edit, but there's no load screens. So I know exactly how long the episode is going to be, so it's going to make that process a lot easier. It's going to just make my life a lot easier. So I know that doesn't really affect you guys watching the videos, but for me it makes life a lot more straightforward. But if you are looking at getting a next-gen console, the PS5 is absolutely fantastic. I'm not going to jump on this thing because it means I have to blow into the mic, and I don't really want to do that while I'm recording. So let's jump somewhere else and I can show you what a bit of a load screen looks like. Where's one? Here we go. Let's go here. This is one of my favourites with their little rocket pack here. So you fade out with a little animation and you're back in. So it's a couple of seconds maybe just to load up into a new level. And like I say, I can't really tell you until you experience. Like, I'd seen videos of people talking about the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers, but until you've actually got the controller in your hand and you're actually doing it, it's a very difficult experience to describe. But it is a very immersive experience. It really makes you feel like you're more at one with the game. It really does sort of bring you into the whole experience as a whole, and I have to say I was a bit skeptical, I suppose. I think skeptical is the wrong word. I was intrigued as to what it was going to be like with the adaptive triggers, how they would work, how they would feel, and I have to say I think it's absolutely amazing. It does take a bit of getting used to, and I don't know if in some situations it's going to be more of a hindrance in some things. I was playing a bit of Fortnite, and having the adaptive triggers in that is a very different feeling to how I was when I was playing it on the PS4. Standard triggers, it was a very different experience. But I think once you get used to it, I think it does add a nice feature to the game, and as long as you get used to the adaptive triggers. At first, I was losing a lot of gunfights in Fortnite because of the adaptive triggers, because I'd push the trigger down with the force I would use on the PS4, and then I'd hit the resistance and not fire the gun. But once you get used to that, it really doesn't become an issue, and it's just relearning sort of the controller and getting used to that, and then it all started to feel normal again. And then I kind of forgot. Saying I forgot that the adaptive triggers were there makes it sound like they weren't doing anything, but it's not that. It's that it just became the new normal, and it happened quite quickly for me. But it will take a bit of an adjustment to get used to those adaptive triggers and how they respond in different games, but it really does add a great feature to it. Oh, I got electrocuted. That's not what I was planning. But the noise of the console, I play with headphones on, and I've not noticed it. One thing I did notice when I was playing, I can't get up this column here. It's causing me some issues right now. Ow. Oh, I didn't realise they turned off. I've always just fought against the fans. It's weird how I've only just noticed that. What was I saying? Yeah, the noise of the console, I play with my headphones on, and yeah, I don't hear it at all. What is interesting to note is I have the PS5 3D Audio Pulse headsets, and what it does is I couldn't understand it to begin with. I've not got them plugged in right now, which is why it came up differently, but when I've got the headphones on in Astro's Playroom, it disables the mic in the controller. So I got to a stage in this and it was like blow into the mic on the controller, and I couldn't understand why it wasn't working. And it's because I had my headphones in, so it was using the microphone in my headset, which of course didn't work because I couldn't blow into it because of where the mics are positioned. So, I mean, I don't think that's going to be an issue very often, but it was something that I didn't think about at the time. Other than that, I don't think there's much more I can say. Like I say, until you actually experience what it's like with the adaptive triggers, you can see load screens, and there's been lots of videos on the improved performance of next gen. But until you actually have that controller in your hand and you experience it, it's very difficult to actually understand what that changes in the system. So if you've got any questions about PS5, drop them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them for you. And with that, we'll leave the video here. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button below. As I say, any questions you've got, drop them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. And I'll see you next time for the next one.